What's up guys, my name's Diachronic here on this Destiny 2 video, and today we're going to be showing you how to get through the Inverted Spire Nightfall strike and get a high score on it. High score, I mean getting around 60,000 score if you want to get the aura. In this video we go around for 80,000 score, and it's actually fairly easy to do. It's not one of the harder Nightfalls, but it is a bit tight on points because there's less enemies in this one. In this video, I'll be describing the different weapons, the different subclasses, as well as the different places I recommend using supers and the difficult areas and how to handle them in this video. If you do end up liking this video, make sure you leave a like down below so other people can find it and other people can do this Nightfall without much problem. And of course, subscribe for more Nightfall tips in the future. And lastly, one of the guys in this video, Enorm Blag, is actually another YouTuber who actually got 401,000 score on the previous Nightfall, which is absolutely insane. I can't wait to see his name in This Week at Bungie, just in there, the console guy there. So of course, obviously, it was with the Lost Sectors, but again, it's still 400,000 points. So make sure you check him out, link in the description down below. So moving on, as far as weapons go, the standard setup, Better Devils, Mononon, and Wardcliff Coil. I also recommend having linear fusion rifles. Having at least one or two of those will make a lot of the yellow and orange health guys very easy to deal with. But of course, having at least one Wardcliff is very nice for those big guys and moving them, and it's really fun to just launch them in the sky. Which, by the way, I have a compilation of all the bloopers of us launching those things in the skies and the kind of fails at the very end, so make sure you stay tuned for that. As far as subclasses go, I recommend a Celestial Nighthawk Gunslinger Hunter, a Sunbreaker Titan with Hallowfire Heart, and lastly an Orpheus Rig Tether Hunter. Obviously the Celestial Nighthawk will be for giant slaying, and the hammers will be for general slaying, and the tether will be for orb generation. And lastly, I'd like to recommend again, if you are the Tether Hunter, use your smoke grenades as much as you can. Use the dodge capability that regenerates your smoke grenades. Smoke grenades are really good. Obviously in this setup we're using Solar Singe because the boss does arc damage as well as void, and then finally the Minotaurs do a lot of void damage as well as some Centurions. The big problem is that a lot of snipers, hobgoblins, scions, the gladiators all do solar, so those are going to be the biggest, hardest part about this, as well as the goblins also shoot solar. So without further ado, let's get into this. Starting off this first section here, you're actually going to get 0 points until you get to the darkness zone. So try to skip as much as possible. Sometimes you get lucky and a previous team has cleared out this section for you, and you can just go along the platforms and the booster sections. I recommend you be careful here because a buddy of ours, Sarasu, continually fell off with his Sparrow again and again, and he waited there for 30 seconds. So do not be like Sarasu and get off your Sparrow and walk it if you do not know how to use it. You can technically get your Sparrow through this entire set of sections. If you want to know how to get through this kind of man cannon section, all you do is you dip your Sparrow down off the edge, back up until it's popped up, then boost through it, and you should be able to get through it without too much problem. Again, second set of enemies, you should be able to Sparrow boost through here, but it's kind of difficult, so make sure you stay close to the wall. You can also spawn a second Sparrow inside the hoop, so as you're going through that man cannon, make sure you spawn a second Sparrow right there and then, and you should still get the man cannon push on you, and you should not drop straight down, which will allow you to have your Sparrow and drive through and save maybe 5 to 10 seconds. Once you get to this first area, it's going to be the darkness zone, and this is where the points start. You should get to this area around 1 to 2 minutes, depending how many enemies are along the way. In this area, obviously, take out these snipers first. The Scions in particular, 4 of them, 3 in the front, 1 on the right side on that darkness section over there, and then the Hobgoblins all the way in the back. Take them out first, they will be the biggest nuisance. I also recommend taking out the Phalanx just below you, that first platform that you stand on, just right below you, shoot him, he won't even defend himself. I then recommend staying on this platform or going on that dark side over on the right. There's an explosive box over there, so take care of that as soon as you can. And then just start pelting the enemies from range with scout rifles. That's why in this one, I actually went with the Nameless Midnight and Mononon. Double scout rifles in this one are actually recommended because it's very nice. A lot of long range fights and not a lot of fights that you need to be able to use your hand cannon on. And in general, at the higher handicaps, you know, the 25, it is very difficult to have any stopping power with your Better Devils. The Minotaurs in this area, you should be able to get enough for Celestial Nighthawk, and you should be able to take out one of those Minotaurs with Celestial Nighthawk. If not, don't worry about it. Use your linear fusion rifles from range and your scout rifles and work as a team to take them down very quickly. And of course, down below, there will be some flamers. Shoot them after you complete all those Minotaurs. They should be pretty easy. Don't go below for the most part. If you go below, then you have to take the man cannon and land right next to all the enemies, which is very difficult to do. After that, there's going to be a section of some snipers on the left section. Take them out, and then some gladiators. Just shoot them from a higher ground, maybe even that block right next to them. Ward cliff them, whatever you want to do. Just do not go next to them or on the same level. They will one-shot you. They will lunge 10 meters to you and then have a 5-meter melee range. It is a lot more than you think, so be very careful with them. After you get down through this area, kill all the enemies along the way, even in that battlefield section with the big holes in the ground. Try to kill those guys as fast as possible, by the way, because, you know, they are fighting each other and they're going to steal your kills from you. Make sure you steal their kills from them until you move up until this final kind of thing before the drill. This is going to be one of the harder sections, not the hardest, where you're going to have to deal a lot of supers in a very particular order. Firstly, start off by killing these snipers, one on the left and the right. They're going to be orange health sign snipers. Again, they will one-shot you. Big group of enemies in the front. Double tether this with your tether hunter. You should be able to get a full reset off of both of those tethers. Then move in with your hammer's titan and take out the enemies with your hammer. When the Colossus does spawn in the back, take that out with your Celestial Nighthawk Hunter, and it should, well, for the most part, it should do most of his health, if not all of it, and then finish it off with some shots or the hammer titan. In this area, it's very important that you do not die. Nobody dies in this section because, of course, there's a lot of orbs. When you die, the orbs go away, so make sure you survive and go back for those orbs when you need your super again. Also, the Colossus launches a volley of rockets. If you're the hammer titan, you need to skate away from those things because they will kill you like it killed me every single time. Also like to mention there's going to be some yellow explosive solar barrels. They're going to start to happen more frequently or spawn more frequently from now on, so make sure you shoot those when you're not near them and get rid of them because they will devastate you. So there's going to be two kind of ultras, one on the left side and the right side. Those are the yellow health Centurion guys. Take out the riffraff next to them, then move in with some Wardcliff. There's also a back door to this area, so make sure you go through the front and the back door. Kind of confuse him, make him turn around a lot. Use Wardcliffs from 2 different angles. And again, there was a kind of funny moments that we had where I literally launched him straight off the edge and actually got points with the Wardcliff. You don't even need a tractor cannon, honestly. You just have a Wardcliff, you just launch people. It's so much fun. After you kill off the first Ultra on the left, 2 Centurions will spawn in the jump section. Kill those guys off first. We didn't do that in this video, I don't think, but kill those guys off first because they will despawn if you kill the second lieutenant. So kill those 2 guys off first because they're free points. Then move off to kill off the second Ultra. Same idea, kill off the riffraff with your grenades, with your shots. Then move in with some Wardcliff on the boss. And then 2 more Centurions will spawn near the jump jets. Kill off those guys. If you didn't kill off the first 2 will despawn before you have a chance to kill them. After you move in through the jump jets, there's going to be a group of enemies up top. Use 1 Wardcliff. It should kill all of them. It is so satisfying to get 3,000 points with 1 shot. After you drop down into this main circle drill area, this is going to be the hardest part in the game for 2 reasons. Firstly, there's a lot of gladiators and a lot of enemies that spawn in this area that will mess up your shit very quickly. Secondly, these enemies will despawn if you do not kill them fast enough. So naturally, you have to get them killed very quickly. You have to super this entire platform. The hammer, as well as the tether guy, cannot die this entire time that they're on the platform. Otherwise, they will lose out on all the orbs that are spawning. So drop down there, kill off the 3 people, the 2 gladiators and the Centurion. Be careful because they will kill you. Make sure everybody's alive before you activate the button. Once you do, there's going to be 3 waves. First and third wave will have gladiators. Second wave will have the dogs. And the third wave will also have a mini boss. Otherwise, they'll just be Centurions. I recommend throwing down a tether on the first set of enemies. Make sure they stay as bunched as you can without risking it too much by standing in front of a gladiator. Then move in with your hammer titan and clean up as many enemies as you can. Again, stay safe. Do not stand next to those gladiators. Throw smokes down on those gladiators because they will 2-shot you in hammer mode. Even with full set of masterwork gear, it is very difficult to survive. Once the dogs spawn in, you can set down another tether, probably 2 more tethers. There's a ton of dogs and they kind of collect in one area. If all the guys are in the middle, then your hammer guy can then hammer again and kill off a lot of dogs again, and it should be very nice, spawning a lot of orbs. For the most part, both hunters should be just running around, keeping away from the gladiators, staying safe, keeping the enemies in the middle. There's going to be a lot of explosive barrels, so be careful of those things. They wiped our entire team once. Again, blooper at the end. And finally, when that mini-boss spawns in, Celestial Nighthawk, destroy him. He should die in 1 shot. If he doesn't, then just finish him off with some other shots or Wardcliff. And of course, again, in that third wave, there'll be more gladiators that spawn, so make sure you're very light on your toes, running around the area, dropping grenades, and being very safe. and you should have enough hammers to take out, I think, maybe 2 or 3 hammers in that section alone, as well as the fact the tether will be dropping down like 3 to 4 tethers. And again, you should also leave with full super once you're done. After that, move through the flamer section. Watch out for the snipers on the right. Next section of flamers will have a mini boss guy. Use Celestial Nighthawk to take him out as much as, or as quickly as you can. Stay away from the flamers as well as you can, and then ward cliff whatever you have left. In the sauce section, trigger the enemies and just stay at range, shoot them. There'll be guys on the bottom side, middle side, and top side. Watch out for these scions. Those guys do solar damage, so be careful. For the most part, these guys should be pretty straightforward. Pop open your Sparrow, because you can use your Sparrow in this area after you've killed off all those enemies. Then move off into the boss fight. Little minigame that we like to play is with your Sparrow, try to nail one of those harpies that are on the bottom section there. So as you're coming down, drop off your Sparrow and see if the Sparrow actually hits them. It's kind of fun to do. So now you're in the boss section. Inarguably one of the hardest parts of the strike, of any strike in general, especially with these handicaps. The boss is going to be a little bit of a doozy. There's going to be a bunch of phases where you're going to need to nuke down the boss, so make sure you're saving your heavy and your supers as much as you can. And as with every single other Nightfall strike, handle the ads first and then handle the boss. There's going to be a lot of harpies spawning in this area. If you see a big group of harpies, lay down a tether. I also recommend using Hammer Tight in this area because you probably got here with enough time to get points. I think we got there with around 14 minutes. We were still getting full points off these harpies, as well as the fact that they kind of overwhelmed you. You have to kill them quite quickly. The boss will start to teleport around the room, but for the most part will be pretty static or stationary. He'll go to the right side first, he'll stay on the left side. Once the boss starts walking towards you, then you're gonna have to nuke him down. It is very important because he will actually start running at you and kill you very quickly and wipe your entire team with all those harpies around, so be very careful when he starts walking towards you. Nuke him with your Celestial Nighthawk, with your heavies, and move to the next platform. Second platform is the easiest because you can just stand behind that little barricade, the little circle thing. I think we all stand in the same one. Don't do that. There's I think 3 of them that are very safe. Keep cover. He kills you pretty quickly, so be careful. And of course, the flame strike should not hit you at all because you're on the big platform section area there. As soon as he spawns in his goblins, you need to nuke him down again. Once you get down to the bottom, it is very crucial that you save your supers for the last section where you're going to need to nuke them again. Again, handle the ads first, then handle the boss. When the ads are gone, shoot the boss. The boss will run around this area kind of like a headless chicken very quickly, and you're going to need to stay as far away from him as you can. We don't in this video, but try to stay in the opposite side from him of this circle. Obviously don't stand in the arc stuff, but make sure you try to stay away from the boss. Once you pop his head off, he'll start running at you like a headless chicken. He will walk to you, he'll melee you, he'll spawn infinite amount of enemies. This is the last section. You're gonna need to nuke him. Use your Celestial Nighthawk, get him right in the chest. That's gonna be his critical spot. Get that nuke as hard as you can. Pull out your hammers, try to hit him as much as you can. If you have a tether, throw it down. For the most part, you should use the tethers on the ads to spawn orbs for your teammates, as well as just defensively. There's going to be a lot of ads, and they're goblins, so they have solar damage. They're kind of difficult. And of course, use all of your heavy on that boss. You should be able to take him down. If at all you have to survive with the boss for any amount of time, more than 10 seconds, in that headless chicken phase, you're going to lose. That is a very difficult phase to stay alive, and if you do end up staying alive, the ads will just spawn infinitely anyway, so it doesn't matter. And that's pretty much it. Again, the hardest part is going to be that circle drill section. Be very careful, super correctly, and it shouldn't be that much problem. And lastly, the boss, whenever he runs at you, nuke him down. Anyways, that's the video for you guys today. I hope you guys did enjoy that tutorial. I did this take like 4 times. I'm totally out of breath, but hopefully I did it quick enough and informative enough for you guys. Again, make sure you leave a like down below. It does take a lot of tries to get these runs, and a lot of takes, apparently, to say these tutorials. And if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments down below. I'd love to answer those questions for you. The biggest questions I get is usually, how do I get 60,000, 15 to 20 handicap? And that's pretty much a blanket statement for almost every Nightfall, regardless of what weapons or supers or what kind of experience you have, as long as you are 335 level to begin with. Anyways, that's the video for you guys today. Hope you guys did enjoy. I'm going to let the bloopers play out. These are really funny, whether it's launching people with ward cliffs or gladiators swiping explosive barrels out of the air. I posted a lot of these on Twitter, so they're a little low quality, but they're still really fun to watch. So anyways, without further ado, hope you guys did enjoy. My name's been Chronic, and I'll see you guys on the next one.